Howdy everybody, Flying Guy 521 here. I just wanted to take a minute and update everyone on my progression into DIY and making gear with my sewing machine. This is my first venture out into it really, that I've actually been able to devote some time to it. And I started off with a couple of projects from Ripstop by the Roll, which you can find the link in the description. Great shipping, super fast, lots of choices, so really happy with them as a supplier. But I started off with a pack cover kit, came out to about the size of a pickle, and I made it with an integrated stuff sack. Not crazy about that feature, it's kind of tough to stuff it back in, but it works. I tried, I had a scrap piece of nylon, just regular breathable ripstop, and I made one with that first because I was trying to dial in my sewing machine, the tension and whatnot, and I was happy with it, so I went ahead and made it out of the sil nylon. So really excited about that. And then I made my carrot, is what it got nicknamed because it's a green Robic fabric with an orange Robic stuff sack. Really excited about this. I haven't got to lay in it yet, but I'm pretty stoked. I did feel like I learned a lot as I made this, and it just, I mean, it takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. But one of the other things that was causing me issues, and when I started on this hammock, was the tension on my bobbin. Now, reading the manual, it said that the tension was set at the factory and did not need to be adjusted and should not be adjusted. But I found a video on YouTube that showed how to adjust it. It wasn't that hard, and it did say it might void the warranty, but I went ahead and did it because, like, sewing this thinner material, it just was not working out real well for me. So I adjusted it twice and got it dialed in, and now I'm really happy with it because the quality on this one is much better than the quality was on this one, I believe. I just feel it turned out better. And this is the Celtic Green Hyper D fabric from Ripstop by the Roll. Both of these were made with a netless hammock kit. This one, I want to say, came out to like 36 bucks because it was the Robic material, and this was like 28, something like that. Really great kits. Comes with 2 cord locks so you can make the double-ended stuff sack. It comes with 3 yards of fabric, which if you're trying to make a 12-foot hammock, you're not going to have enough to make your stuff sack. So this is actually about a 11-foot hammock, probably 10 and a half, 11 foot. I didn't measure it. I just cut a foot off the end to make the stuff sack. So I'd have that. This one, the Robic fabric for the stuff sack, came in the DIY kit from Ripstop by the Roll, which is a great kit, well worth the 10 bucks to me because I didn't have any scrap material to play with, and I really enjoyed that. This one, I went ahead and made her some tree straps as well with some polyester webbing I had laying around, and they came out really well. So this is 100% DIY for her first hammock. She's never had a hammock before, so trying to get her into it and excited about it too. So really happy with the skills that I've learned so far on all of these. And so now that has given me the confidence to try my next project, which is this, or 3/4 length Underquilt Kit. So really excited. This is the Blaze Orange Hyper D and the Olive Green. And I'm going to try and make this, and we'll see how it goes. And I'll have, you know, some videos here kind of outlining my progress. I'm not a great video master. I've just started doing these like videos, so we'll see if I use a lot of filler words. I do apologize. A lot of this is off the cuff and just kind of trying to do it as I go, so I do apologize for that, but looking forward to helping somebody out who might not think they have the skills, because I certainly don't have the skills, or I didn't before I started this, which is great. So just watching videos on YouTube, you know, it might help someone get involved. It takes, like this whole kit, I want to say I paid 55 bucks, maybe 62 after shipping, or something like that. That's not a lot of money to get an underquilt. You don't have to go out and buy a down underquilt to get out and camp. Yeah, there's top of the line gear, but this is so much better because it's cheaper. You're learning how to make it. You can fix it if something happens. It's just, it makes sense. So I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, so this is the 2.5 ounce climate shield. So this should be a good summer season underquilt. But follow along and comment if you have any questions. I'll try and answer them. And get out there and hike. So what do you get with the 3/4 length underquilt kit? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let me show you. First of all, you get the insulation of your choice, and you get 2 yards of that. I went with the Apex Climate Shield 2.5 ounce, and then you also get 10 feet of the 1.5 inch mil-spec Grosgain webbing, 2 feet of the 1/2 inch mil-spec Grosgain, 4 line locks, line lock 3s to be exact, 15 feet of 1/8 inch shock cord, 3 regular cord locks, and 2 mini carabiners. Sorry. So, as you can see, I don't have a lot of room to work with, but what I'm doing right now, I have the inside of my bottom layer and the inside of my top layer is touching the fabric, and then what's going to happen when I sew these together, the 2 outside portions are facing each other, and when I flip it inside out after I've sewn it together, it comes out like it should be. So right now I'm going through and I'm pinning the climate shield to the fabric to make for easy sewing. So somebody gave me advice that this stuff moves around a lot and can cause it to bunch up, which I see that, and a slippery material as it is. So I'm just pinning them as much as I can so that I don't have any issues. This is what it's looking like, and then I have links to the instructions below so you can fix it, but I've got pins about every 6 to 8 inches, and I'm going to go around the outside and pin everything together, and then I will sew 3 sides of it, and I'll show you. I've got some other things I'm going to do before I actually start sewing, so stay tuned. Alright, so now we're ready to sew. So I'm going to take my material, get it situated. I'm going to start on this end here, which is the very bottom edge. I'm going to do the long seam. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start on the long edge first, or I guess the short edge, and I'm going to do a seam right down, being sure to be careful about how my material is feeding through and the climate shield is feeding through the presser feet. Trying to keep it as straight as possible. And just go slow. And it helps if we're not on a zigzag stitch. And I'm going to go to about a 3 on the stitch length. And lock the stitch. Now for the moment of truth. We've got all 3 sides sewn, and I went ahead and did about 1.5 feet, 2 feet on each side of the 4th side. So now we reach in all the way to that very back corner. So what you should have should look like this. You should have an open end and the back end. And now we're going to take the back and put the channel, or make a channel out of the 1.5 inch grow game. Alright, so now that we've got it flipped inside out, we sewed up the opening that we've used to flip it inside out. And on both channel ends, we're going to take the grow gain, and I've already put a cord lock on the shock cord, and then we're going to fold it in half and get that up in there really well. Make sure that your shock cord's on the inside, and then we're going to start sewing and bind the edges. Alright, so as you can see, we've got the channel sewn on here with the grow gain, and so this is what it looks like. And I've got a cord lock on each end. What I'll probably end up doing is putting a knot and sewing it where it can't go out of the knot, and then just using one cord lock. But that's what it looks like. So now what we're going to do is this exact same thing, but we're going to do it to this other side. Okay? Alright, so what we're doing, we've got a cord lock here and the shock cord, and then we're just folding the grow gain in half, putting it right on the seam, holding that in there, and then just sewing. We've already got our lock stitch done, and then we're just going through, feeding it through. And just go a little bit, fold some more, make sure the seam is in the center, so you're getting equal parts of the fabric on there, and then go to town. Obviously we still want to make sure that there's no extra fabric on the bottom. That's one of the things that I had a kind of a big issue with while sewing the Climaloft or Climashield. You want to make sure that there's nothing on the bottom, like no loose fabric there. That's one of the issues that I had while sewing the Climashield. But and just hold it against the pressure foot, and it keeps it pretty evenly spaced. Whoops, sorry about that. And just fold it over, go shock. Right here you can see how I just put a seam on the top where I used this. That's how wide that I had to stick my arm in and flip it inside out. And it worked, I just had to go slow. But now there's no Climashield between those, so I'm going to have to pull up the Climashield right to the edge whenever I get to that point. So I'm going to go to this point where that starts, and then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So I wrestled about how best to attach the line locks, and finally I just went ahead and rolled over the grow gain and attached it like that. So that's what I'm going to do on all 4 corners now. Well, last night it got down to about 72 degrees here at Niederhofer Lake, and I ended up getting a little cool. So I put my underquilt on that I made from the kit by Rips Out by the Roll, and I just wanted to show a couple pictures of it real quick. It's got the line lock 3s, and then the channel, which, I mean, it was cinched up enough, but fabric would have made it easier to cinch than grosgrain. But it's plays orange interior, an olive green exterior, and hopefully it'll be reversible, something I can flip inside and out for hunting season. So anyway, there it is. Pretty happy with it, and it turned out to be a full-length quilt from the 3/4 length Underquilt Kit, because I didn't use save material to make a stuff sack. So I made a full-length kit, or full-length quilt from the kit. So there you go.